Neptune is entering the sign of Aries, and this is a historic shift. Neptune has not been in Aries for roughly 165 years. The last time this planet occupied this sign, the world was a fundamentally different place. Neptune moves slowly. It spends approximately 12 to 14 years in each sign, and its influence is deep, gradual, and transformative. Unlike faster-moving planets that create quick, noticeable events, Neptune works beneath the surface. It reshapes how we feel, how we dream, what we believe in, and what we are willing to sacrifice for. When Neptune changes signs, entire generations begin to process the world differently. And when it enters Aries, a sign defined by initiative, courage, and the drive to begin something new, that shift carries a particular intensity. It asks us to reimagine who we are at the most fundamental level. What does this mean for your sign specifically? Let us talk about that now. Capricorn, Neptune is leaving the space of your third house, where it has been since 2011. During that period, it could bring you unusual and unexpected paths toward achieving your goals. The routes you took to get where you needed to go were rarely straight lines. They twisted, looped, and sometimes seemed to lead nowhere before suddenly arriving exactly where they needed to. In its more challenging expression, this transit sometimes brought losses connected with placing too much trust in people, or a feeling that you were wasting time wandering in search of truth. However, this is not actually the case. You were always efficient. It is simply that efficiency is not always measurable by conventional standards. Now, Neptune is moving into the space of your fourth house for more than 10 years, and it will be in a demanding aspect to your sign. This transit brings both positive and challenging influences, which we will now discuss in detail. The first aspect relates to home and living space. The fourth house symbolizes our home, our place of residence, and our property. Neptune here brings an energy of ideals and a striving toward perfection, which means you will feel a strong need to create an ideal, comfortable, and harmonious living environment. Now is an important time to define where you want to live, down to the details and specifics. What kind of landscape do you want surrounding you? What do you want to see through your window? The sea, a river, a forest, or mountains? Whether you want an apartment in the city or a house in the suburbs. Which country and which city you want to call home. Take the time to paint a detailed picture of your ideal living situation, because Neptune rewards clarity of vision even as it works through dreams. This is a period when you can plan the design of your home and then bring it to reality. Think of a space that radiates calm and gentle tones, where there is a comfortable place for reading, for watching the sunset, and for feeling a deep sense of safety and belonging. Your home during this transit wants to become your sanctuary. However, Neptune also symbolizes illusions, deception, and uncertainty, so during this period it is important to be careful when handling documentation related to your home and ownership rights. Double-check everything. If something seems too straightforward, verify it twice. Do not sign anything without reading the fine print. This transit can also point to inheriting property. It is important to preserve and transform inherited spaces. It can also involve purchasing an old or neglected apartment or house and completely renovating it into something beautiful. Additionally, an interest in restoring antique furniture or objects may awaken: old wardrobes, tables, dishes, or paintings. There is something deeply satisfying about bringing old things back to life during this transit. The second aspect relates to family relationships and relatives. The fourth house also symbolizes family bonds and connections with relatives. During this transit, it is important that family matters and relationships with relatives become a priority. Perhaps someone close to you will require more attention or support than usual. This could involve the birth of a child or grandchild, caring for aging parents, or helping relatives who are temporarily unable to care for themselves. Family may call on you in ways that feel both meaningful and demanding. Since Neptune also symbolizes illusions and deception, it is important to clearly distinguish between who genuinely needs your help and who may be trying to take advantage of your resources. The transit can bring unusual or manipulative situations with more distant relatives. Trust your instincts, but also verify with facts. Neptune here activates our ideals and dreams, but also our fantasies. A feeling may arise that somewhere, far from where you are, there is a paradise on Earth. But in reality, things may be quite different from how they appear. Before deciding to relocate to an entirely new city, country, or continent, it is advisable to stay temporarily and check the actual situation on the ground. Visit before you commit. The third aspect relates to water systems and home infrastructure. Neptune symbolizes water, so now it is important to check and maintain all systems in your home that are connected with water: plumbing, heating, sewage. Leaks, cracks, or malfunctions are possible, so it is advisable to inspect everything preventively rather than waiting for an emergency. A small problem caught early saves enormous trouble later. In conclusion, Neptune's transit through your fourth house is a period when you can create an ideal living space for yourself and your family. It is about ideal housing conditions, comfort, and harmony. This transit also encourages making family relationships and attention to loved ones a priority. It is important to take care of documentation, property matters, and realistic assessment of situations in order to avoid illusions and manipulation. The central message of this transit is this: create the best possible conditions for life and family, both in the material sense and in the emotional sense. Build a home that reflects who you are becoming, not just who you have been.